Gruesome Magazine.
Hi, I'm your host, Jeff Mohr, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in theatrical release, streaming, and video-on-demand horror movies. Each week, Doc Rotten, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, Christopher G. Mohr, and I will look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Obviously, not with us this week is Doc Rotten. Hopefully he shall return soon. But we do have Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead girl. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm doing great.
Are you?
I have to hold myself back from making the piggy sounds. Okay, like I was like, all I wanted to do was to do it, and then I kept thinking it was Christopher, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
You sounded like somebody had a gun off camera. That's what it sounded like.
Well, that's what
Like
the piggy sounds were doing. It's like, do it, Crystal, do it. I'm not weird.
Also with us this week is Christopher G. Mohr, award-winning filmmaker. Chris,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Why is there a question?
I know. Question. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Chris,
There should be an exclamation point because it's
Award-winning filmmaker.
I'm an award-winning filmmaker. We just got into our fifth festival, Scares That Care in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's a biggie too, yeah.
Yeah, charity event too.
Yep.
very cool.
Very
cool.
nice.
That's
Also
all,
with
folks.
us is Horror News Radio OG,
Oh yeah.
Dave.
Dave Dreher.
But Dave Dreher.
It is not
That
the
was
same
good.
without Doc.
It's
I-
not the same.
Not the same.
I should
Sorry.
even try.
It's not the
I
same.
should have tried
Not
harder.
I know what I was going to do. I was going to say, and also with us tonight is Dave Dreher.
good.
That would have been probably, yeah.
we need to get the Doc to record it and do like the old Bugs Bunny cartoons, you know.
Oh,
it's
like
a
because
better thing, yeah.
that was hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah, so-
you did a good job.
Good to be here, guys. Good to be here, guys.
Excellent. Glad to have you here. So here we go. Our movie this week is Piggy. 2022 release, now showing on Hulu. That started last week. Synopsis is an overweight teen is bullied by a clique of cool girls poolside while holidaying in her village. The long walk home will change the rest of her life. Piggy is written and directed by Carlota Pereda. Stars Laura Galán, Richard Holmes, and Carmen Machi.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good
Not
enough.
bad. Not bad.
We'll never know unless some of those people write in and say no.
Tell us otherwise.
So this is we're going to start off with first impressions, and we'll stay spoiler free on those, and then we will move into spoiler territory. So first up, Dave Dreher, what did you think of Piggy?
Well, you know, this one has film Dave will hate written all over it, right?
Does it?
Or, you know, it kind of presents as a little bit of a slow burn. It's got the subtitles, but I actually ended up enjoying this quite a bit. It was it kind of drew me in. Our lead actress, what was her name there again?
Oh, sure.
Sarah.
Laura
Sarah.
Galán is.
Well, yes, she was quite exceptional as Sarah. You know, she you know, I mean, this film kind of runs the gamut from you know, school bullying, peer bullying, body shaming, dealing with, you know, awkward family situations, coming of age. I mean, this is all wrapped up in this movie, and then you throw in a serial killer, and things get a little kind of funky. But yeah, my first impression is I actually like this quite a bit. I probably, if it hadn't been for us doing the show, I probably never would have watched it because my senses would have told me I'd hate it, but I didn't hate it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, that's very positive.
Thank you, Dave Dreher. And now time for Crystal Cleveland. What were your first impressions of Piggy?
Okay. I also like this movie. It's a character study, and it's very interesting, the dynamics between it's a little absurd at points, but not overly absurd into the point of campy. It's just these girls are so mean. Like I've never seen bullying like this, thankfully, in real life, because I would immediately want to stop it. And this is an interesting movie because you really don't know who to root for. Um, you have your mean girls, and they're mean, but you also don't want to see them. There's not a lot of gore, thankfully. So, like, I think for you who are turned off by too much gore, you won't have a problem with this. It's such a weird, odd, almost love story, question mark. Like, it's got a lot going on, and I think the acting was great. I think that the lead actress did a phenomenal job, and I liked the family, her brother. There were some moments that I thought were really kind of sad and sweet, and they left some stuff open at the end, which I wish that I knew more about what happened.
Ooh.
But I liked the way it was shot. I think what a simple movie, really, ultimately, but it was entertaining. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Excellent. Christopher, what are your first impressions of Piggy?
Well, first of all, this is actually an expanded version of her short film,
Oh,
which I haven't seen. It's like a 14-minute short film, which actually starred the same actress.
oh, cool.
So it's kind of as someone that makes short films and has a short film back group, I want to turn into a feature. I'm always kind of interested to see, and I'd love to be able to possibly find that short film. But yeah, I think Crystal's right. It's definitely a character study. And as someone who was bullied when I was in school, I can sort of relate to that. And yeah, I think I mean, some of the motivations and logic doesn't make sense at certain points. And also I almost thought, oh, is this going to be like a dramatic Tucker and Dale versus Evil? But it didn't kind of go in that direction. Although that would have been a very interesting way to go with it. But I mean, you really feel for this character. And it almost kind of starts how a lot of 80s slasher films start, you know, with the geeky or the less popular person getting bullied, and then they become like a killer. So it didn't even go where I thought it was going to go at the very beginning. So yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting story. You can sort of see the situations he's in, because if you have a life where you're kind of like the laughing stock of your community, the last thing you want to do is put more spotlight on yourself or be involved with certain things. And then at the same time, you have her sort of interaction with this killer guy. So yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting story. And I will say to go a little bit against what Crystal was saying, there is one moment that's pretty graphically gory that I was like, whoa. Because it's like not really gory for the good part of it, but there's that one part like, oh crap, now we're playing with fire. So yeah, so overall I thought it was an interesting story with kind of realistic characters, you know, and actually characters, you know, not set in the US, so you have that kind of the difference there, but they feel like characters that easily could be translatable to here, you know, because I think we all have like, you have people with different types of parents, and sometimes your parents are part of a local business, that kind of thing. So yeah, so I thought I did enjoy the film, even though at times you felt uncomfortable either with situations or even kind of uncomfortable with her reaction to things, you know. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting character study movie.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of fit in there with Dave in that the original poster, I wasn't thinking that I was going to like this. You know, I thought there was going to be I don't know, a lot of abuse and poor portrayals, etc., of somebody that was overweight. But it actually just played straight in all the way. I was fairly comfortable with it fairly quickly, surprisingly, I guess. I was uncomfortable seeing the bullying, but her situation and seeing things from her point of view became natural very quickly. The way it was dealt with, I think it was done really well. There's a couple of things that I'm not sure if this is what Christopher was talking about or not, but where I felt like she had, I guess, the lead character Sarah had kind of conflicting motivations, because it's hard to tell what. We'll get into those details later. Something I need to think about. So it's I think, kind of a thought-provoking film. And I thought the lead was excellent. I thought the actress that played the mother was awesome.
Mom was
hated
funny.
her. Carmen Machi, I think, is mother of Sarah. Yeah, she was really good. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get to spoilers then. Any other comments about the film you want to go forward with here?
Well, and it's kind of interesting because she's kind of bullied by her schoolmates, and she's bullied by her own mom, and so that's a really difficult situation to be in. But I think the one takeaway I came away is like it's interesting how communication could be a very important thing especially when it comes to your family and that kind of thing. Because I think communication could have probably had the whole story play out a different way, but because she was so used to not communicating her issues, or I mean, just as simply as just showing, hey, this is a pic they took of us, so that they think I think we all three are fat or whatever. We're all piggies, So that's the one thing about just how, like, sometimes not communicating your issues to people can sometimes.
But I think a lot of that is she's embarrassed.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying.
Like,
I understand.
I don't think her motivations were all that contradictory. I think that she is really she's a teenager. She's probably hormonal. She's significantly overweight, and she has pretty much everyone in her life down on her. God, like I would probably seek out an external person, even if they seemed bad. You saw the way that she looked at him when he threw out that towel. It was like someone throwing out a life vest to her. I mean, I totally get it. I mean, does it make it right? No, but I get it. She just wanted to feel wanted and loved,
recognized.
Recognized. Yeah. And someone to actually, like, be kinder. Like, just that throwing out that towel was like life-changing for her, to the point where she was willing to just be quiet. In addition to her embarrassment, I do think that was part of it. But also, I think she was protecting him as well, to a degree.
I think she was more protecting herself, but then she gets herself in. The
More
whole time
trouble.
I'm like, what are you doing? What are you
Yeah.
picking up? You're picking up evidence from a crime, and you're just like, oh, let me hold this evidence. Things like that. I'm just like, what are you doing? You're just basically putting your DNA over everything in that crime scene. And so the whole time I'm like, for somebody who's trying to protect herself, she's integrating herself even more to where she was
in. It wasn't just about that. She liked him. She was intrigued by him. If she really wanted to give him up, she would have done it when all those people were out and he was right there with her. I mean, you say she could have been protecting herself again by, her looking for the phone. She would have to, but she doesn't have to explain that. She whatever. I can do what I want. I can be out here if I want. I can be looking for this bull or whatever.
Well, she's really
sad.
She's a sad individual. She's just craving. She's craving, and it's sad when you're craving attention.
Yeah,
positive attention, and the only person that gives you any kind of positive attention is the person that's killing people in your community. That's not. And I think there is, because there's that moment where she's. Well, I don't want to give it away, but there's a moment where she's fighting against him, but then she's she's almost upset, at the outcome of that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, she's really I don't want to say, well, I'm trying to say a good word, a good way to say it, but she's lived a life of being distraught, being made fun of, and that's why she's quiet, introverted, and shy. She really wants to be a part of everything, and she sees that people, even when she's looking through the window, seeing the people that are much happier than she is, and she wants to live that life. But then she keeps reminding, like by Instagram or whatever, that this is how people see her.
And there was a couple of really nice nuanced scenes in there too that kind of get glanced over, but I think they were really important. Like the scene where after that big confrontation, she runs into her room and like eats the last piece of that candy bar or a ho-ho or whatever it was. I mean, she's
definitely an emotional eater.
Yeah. She's taking solace in the food. It's the only thing she can really count on. And then also the scene where she like, she doesn't break down to her mother. She screams at her mother when, she tells her mother, they call me Piggy. They make fun of you. They make fun of me, and you do nothing. You stand there and you just let it happen, and I mean, all that frustration just was coming out. And I thought those were so well acted and so true. I think anybody who's dealt with those kind of issues and have felt alone, and you want the people around you to stand up for you, and they just stand there and look at you. You feel that.
I don't think her mother even got it. I really truly don't think her mom understood, because her mom did go to her dad after that and was like, look what these dang girls are doing. Like I think her mom just, I don't think her mom was bad. I really honestly did not have a problem. She was ignorant of what was going on. She saw her daughter as just a normal girl. She didn't look at her daughter as a pig, as Piggy, as they did.
Well, but her response then is
okay,
to after that.
After that though. Yeah. But that's because she's like, well, there is a point where a mother needs to help her daughter too. Okay, you can't fault the mother for going, well, you're significantly overweight. You are being called this stuff and you don't want to be, so go on a diet. Like sometimes you do need to be.
The way she went about it was not good. In fact, it almost like she was doubling down on the abuse she was already getting. Like, well, all these people are calling you fat, so I guess you're fat. So here, eat some veggies. To me, that's what it felt like, and that's when I felt like she's
the way she decided to take it.
The way she dealt that out to her child is that's just bad parenting.
It kept her in the same.
I guess it's just hard. Like, I mean, I'm a girl. I grew up with a mom. And I was never overweight, calling me fat, saying I shouldn't wear things and stuff. And that's not that abnormal. It's very normal. It happens all the time. And so I guess I don't look at this and I see it as harsh as it probably really is.
Well, but at the same time, she hasn't been from what I can see in the movie, it seems like she hasn't been sort of like even paying attention to her weight or whatever, even caring about her weight. And it only takes is to hear, oh, you've been bullied by this. And I don't know. I felt like that. I think the biggest issue is again the disconnect, the miscommunication. There's not a great communication between anybody. Nobody's really communicating how they feel. Even her friend, who you could tell she felt bad about it, but then she's like, I just want to be part of the cool kids. I'm going to play along. And so, and so that's the problem is there's no real communication. Nobody's really getting what people are throwing out. Even the policeman, he was trying to communicate.
Yes.
Don't communicate. The communication is the biggest issue throughout all of this. That I think the guy probably would have been called a little earlier if there'd been a little bit more communication. But you have somebody who's spent her whole life not really being able to communicate how she feels and being put down. So it's like, she's like, what does it matter what I say? They're just going to look at me bad.
So we have these two guys, one who is billed as the stranger, Richard Holmes, and then the other one who's Pedro is Rochi's boyfriend, one of the girls' boyfriends.
Yeah.
Right.
He treats her fairly nice, but she sees him as part of that group of those girls because he
is. So I mean,
but he doesn't stop it.
Yeah.
But
so let's if you see Claudia didn't do anything either.
Right.
She also
Right.
just didn't stop it. She didn't
Right.
say anything to her. She didn't post the photo. So she's just as, they're the same. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out. Yeah.
And then the stranger. So what was he representing? I mean, it was interesting because he doesn't really say much, but it's obviously he's feels for her and is trying to kind of look out for her in his own.
Yeah, well, because that was an interesting shot when we find out that the lifeguard's dead. Because
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like,
You just thought he was just, yes.
like, what the hell is he doing there? But anyway, that was kind of cool. But I mean, it came across to me almost that the stranger kind of, he's seen the bullying going on and he decided, I'm going to do something about this.
Well, didn't the lifeguard treat him like, was really mean to him or was really mean to someone? Remember that scene? Where
I don't remember the scene now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the lifeguard was a jerk.
Yeah. So
and called. I did. Yeah. I can't remember what he called someone, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we really don't know anything about the killer guy, but I almost feel like maybe a lot of times people become killers because of how their situation growing up or how people have abused them in the past, and so a lot of times that's when people lash out. So it almost felt like maybe he was
kindred spirit.
Yeah, he was kindred spirits. Maybe he was kind of bullied and. Although I did kind of find it funny where he just had like the zip up hoodie.
Yeah.
He's always just sitting there with his little bulbous belly, like, drink or eat whatever's here.
And the only way we get no background on him at all, we're introduced to him like with his back sitting at a street side cafe, outdoor cafe. Anyway. When the guy tries to pick up the waitress and slaps her butt, and he's staring at him. Hey, what are you looking at? That's the first time we see it.
Okay? Is that the guy? Is that the one I'm thinking about? Is that the lifeguard?
It must be the lifeguard.
The lifeguard.
Yeah,
is that the lifeguard. Okay,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, there was a guy who was a real jerk, and it was.
Was that the lifeguard?
Yeah. So this is his thing.
Sense.
This is how he like operates.
Yeah.
He doesn't like mean people, and you got to think about it. He didn't. I mean,
but did he kill the server too?
I don't know.
They said she was missing.
Oh,
ooh,
that's right. That's right.
Isn't that who they find? Isn't that who they find in the woods? The body
the woman.
of the
that was a woman. That was the older lady.
I thought that was a server.
Was it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So yeah. So he
now it's going to make me watch again. Be like, make sure I remember everybody. Because there were a few little ancillary characters that kind of were blips. But
it definitely seems that the killer's motivation is, almost a Dexter kind of thing. He's a killer, but he's killing bad people.
Yeah.
Well,
I could see how he'd go after the family, thinking the family was bad because they're holding her back. And because, well, obviously with the yelling and the whole, But she tells him no. That's one of I love. I think that's kind of sweet too.
I was impressed with the ending too because I not to give it away, but I was not expecting that.
Which part?
What happened to her friends?
Oh yeah. Because they made it look like
Yeah. Well, even then, I just thought after everything,
because they kind of keep you guessing. Yeah, they kind of keep you. It's like up in the air there for a bit. You're not sure where she's going to head. We
also had Chekhov's bull.
That is so funny. Yes.
Yes, we did. I didn't get a quick look at that. I need to replay that. But did that bull pierce that guy, or it just hit the?
I think he just got stuck in the window. Okay. Although, considering she's dealing with bullies. As well as
it's
bulls.
funny. And actually, it was a junior bull too. Did you like it was supposed to be the son, so it get like the kids, which I thought that could even be more. It's like, yeah.
Okay.
That's like really spot on. Like, yeah, and even the parents. What weird parents too of the girls, like.
And her brother and her sister. Well, that was the other one. Never mind. Her brother. Yeah. And
the whole community is toxic. That's
the butcher shop that apparently doesn't make any money. I guess it's like.
Well, they said it's too expensive, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said. Why do you go there? It's too expensive.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up here. I believe it's time. So, Dave,
Back to me, huh?
where everybody give this a score, 1 to 5, and a favorite scene. Dave?
Well, I think you can tell from our discussion, this film goes kind of a lot deeper than it appears to. So I'm going to say, see, I actually like this quite a bit. I'm going to give it a 3.5. It is a horror film, but it's also cerebral. I mean, there's a lot going on here, a lot to think about. I'll probably watch it again just to pick up what I missed. For favorite scene, I'm going to go with the. Which one do I want to go with? Which one do I want to go with? I'm going to go with the one where she's in the alley and she sees the van, and he just, it's the where he throws the towel out, but it's the whole thing with the chick in the back window and
Yeah.
just that whole thing. I thought it was really, really, really just well done how it was, and it put her in a position to have to make a moral decision, and yeah, it was entertaining watching her as an actress go through it. And again, kudos to her in her acting. I mean, she really puts her body out there. I mean, just as a human being, she's scantily clad in a lot of this movie.
Like, I don't know if I would have the cojones to do that. Like, just running in a bra that was like barely hanging on. Yeah. It's like,
but so kudos to her for that. It was there's not a lot of sugarcoating on this,
Right.
So yeah, I liked it. Seek it out. It's on Hulu. See it for sure.
It is. Thanks, Dave. Crystal, how about you? Score and favorite scene for Piggy.
okay, I'm going to give it just a little bit higher than Dave. I'm going to give it a 3.75. And I definitely think this is one that people should watch. I mean, people are mean. So I think people should watch this one. I think it's worth your time. And totally my favorite scene is her saving the brother. Like, when I was like, oh, what? And then when she did that, I was like, that's so, and he listened. I was like, yeah, that was kind of sweet. I don't know. It's so weird. But I always kind of support the monsters, which is kind of, I guess, what she does too.
All righty. That's a good scene. Christopher, score and favorite scene.
I think I'll probably give it a similar to Crystal. I'll give it a 3.75. I think it's a really well made movie. I mean, it can get uncomfortable at times. But I think it's a really great, really, I mean, it's all hinging on the performance of the main actress. I think she's amazing. As for favorite scene, without spoiling it, I'll just say when they accidentally catch the girl red-handed. See, the accidental gunshot scene, I guess I'll say.
That was good and kind of shocking because there hadn't been a lot of.
Right,
I was like, I mean, because it's really well done. I'm not sure if it was part CGI or whatever, but I was like, whoa. I was like, because there wasn't a lot of stuff there, but that was like, wow, that's a really great effects scene.
Yeah, I agree. That was an excellent scene. With you guys, I'm going. I'm going to go 3.75 as well. And my favorite scene is going to be when she's swimming underwater and we see the lifeguard behind her in the pool. And we're just like,
yeah, I know that one.
Wait a minute. What was that? That was really well done, I thought.
Well, that was the point where the movie really got me. I was like, okay, I'm listening.
Plume of red anyway. I guess we've already talked about the lifeguard getting killed, so that's not surprising.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it felt like a Friday 13th scene,
Yeah. And I loved how she didn't see it. And, that water was kind of nasty. I wouldn't have my eyes open probably anyway if I don't want to swim with a dead body. You know how nasty bodies get in water? It's super gross. And then they bloat up. Ugh, it's gross.
All right. Oh, Crystal.
So listen,
gross.
kids, don't swim with dead bodies.
So I've watched them fish a dead body out of the water, and it's gross. Like gross.
I love that impersonation of dead
I
body.
think that's
horror.
actually the
That was
way it
very nice.
sounds too.
Yeah. Makes me a
All
little
right.
sick, actually. Okay, cool.
Thank you all for that, and check it out. Piggy is currently streaming on Hulu.
Hulu.
Definitely worth
Watch
checking
it.
out. Yeah.
Yes. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.